years. Uzbekistan is one of the largest exporters of fruit, fresh fruit, textiles in the world, and you mentioned the three economic zones, which I mentioned also in the presentation. I mean, these are helping to facilitate trade opportunities in the country. Ravshanbek, you specialize in trade. If I had a logistics company, what opportunities would there be for me in Uzbekistan?
Thank you. Thank you for this important question. Indeed, Uzbekistan is one of the biggest supplier of fresh produce, of in general agri-produce, as well as textile, to the neighboring markets, to the traditional markets since the decades. But last 5-6 years, Uzbekistan substantially widened the geography of its export, and substantially widened the increased the volume of the export because of the conditions which are created by the government, because of the support which is provided by the government. The geography and the volume of the export is increasing substantially. For example, what I can say, for example, if you are exporting fresh produce and other goods, textile goods, now government is covering or compensating 50% of your transport expenses. And especially if you are opening a new market for the Uzbek goods, it's also very important, and that's why government is giving another support in the field of certification of the commodities and goods, in the field of standardization, and negotiation with foreign governments in order to facilitate and to create good conditions for the logistics and for the transportation of the Uzbek goods. Well, I work here in London, and I can say on our example is that British government end of last year included Uzbekistan to the GSP enhanced framework beneficiaries list. Uzbekistan became and still the only country which is included to this list after Brexit. So it is an important step, and it is an important indicator for Uzbekistan and for the private sector in Uzbekistan of the support of the British government, of the trade with Uzbekistan, and of the reforms, of course, which are taking place in our country. It means that any exporter who is exporting to UK, they have zero import duty. So it is on the very important step, because this is increasing the competitiveness of the Uzbek goods. For example, a few years ago, we have managed to Uzbek cherries were presented in the British market. Uzbek melons also reached the British market. Since the years, we are increasing the volume of the export of the dry fruits, of the fresh produce, and all this became possible because of the support by the government for the standardization, for the covering the transport expenses of the exporters. Another thing, maybe very briefly, I want to mention, in your presentation, you mentioned that Uzbekistan is a double landlocked country. Yes, it is one of the two double landlocked countries in the world. And from the logistical point of view, this is a challenge. But at the same time, we see that as an opportunity, because Uzbekistan is located in the heart of the Central Asia. We have common border with all Central Asian countries, and now government is developing new transport corridors for Uzbek goods to be integrated to the international transport corridors. For example, not counting the traditional transport corridors for Uzbek goods through through the north, through Caucasus, through Iran, and through other countries. Now, recently, Uzbekistan and Pakistan government with Afghanistan, we are developing the transport route through Afghanistan to the seaports of Pakistan, Karachi and Gwadar. Yeah, and already some positive supplies took place. And this is, from a strategic point of view, this is the best and let's say very rational, cost-effective transport corridor for Uzbek goods, because if you count that the freight is leaving Termez in the south of Uzbekistan, so after 4 days it's already in Karachi seaports, yeah, or Gwadar seaports in Pakistan. So this is another important thing, which is towards increasing of the competitiveness of the Uzbek goods and commodities.
Thanks, Ravshanbek. That's really helpful.